So what do we have here? Today I'm presenting another little mystery lot, I should say, from Facebook Marketplace. And on the left, we have this jumbo learning curve Thomas storage box. This is the roundhouse set storage box, but what we have on the right here is what I assume to be pieces from a very late roundhouse set. And I'll tell you why in a moment, and we'll figure out how much of a complete set we have here. This piece right here, the crossing, has a date, a coded date of 1370WJOO. So this is from 2010. And how we can even tell this is a later set without looking at those codes is that this features the new male connectors that were introduced in very early 2009 and late 2008. There's a few, I believe there's some 2008 items that use everything that was still being made and not like a singular track piece like this was upgraded to have these male connectors. And you can see them across most of the pieces in this set. But yeah, this is what appears to be a very late roundhouse set. There are no trains. It seems to just be this box and the track, but that's no problem because I think I have everything from this set except for the Duke that they reintroduced. But for now, I'm very curious to see how complete this set is. Just going over briefly, there's the signal tower. These are very sun faded. They've obviously seen better days, but there's the signal tower. There's Tidmouth sheds, probably the best conditioned item here. There's the Knapford covered bridge, and it lost the Knapford part. Maybe that was an international thing because nothing else really has text except for one other thing that I'll show in a moment. We've got a water tower with a cracked top, as if the water tower couldn't get any more worthless. It was able to pull that off. We have a bunch of risers. I think that's everyone that's needed. We have two of these ascending track, oh God, elevated railway, something like that. The pieces have this weird putty, and I'll go over that later, but we're missing one of the black pieces, but I believe both of the ones for the set are here. There's the stop and go station, which is very weird because the red portion, at least compared to the color of the top of the water tower, is a very rich and darker red. The green looks about the same. And we have the base of the turntable. I have the turntable over there, and I just realized I forgot to grab that before filming. There's this. This is the only non-wooden railway thing in here, which is usually really surprising for these types of lots, but I have no idea where that's from. It's probably not from Thomas, but if you identify that, let me know. And then we have the track, which appears to be complete. For example, there's 16 curves, and all 16 are included. And I'll show why there's one missing there in a moment. There's a bunch of road pieces, and I'm a little worried those are where we fall short. It's not even, I haven't calculated everything. But for most pieces, most of the key elements that would have been important for the set seem to be here. Particularly, I was worried about that V switch because I didn't initially see it in the listing photos. Both signals are present, just the base of one is missing. And I'll show you the bay bridges in a sec, even the pieces that are used for ascending track in the bay bridges are included. Now we get into the bad. Thomas here, which I'm not going to go too in depth in, but he comes apart 3 pieces. You've got the lid, and then the cushion is a separate piece. He's a bit water damaged, and I was really disappointed by that because, of course, with the Facebook listing, you can't really tell from like really compressed photos. The buffer is shaving off. The funnel is starting to go. Besides that, he's mostly in good shape. You can see there's a major, if you start to inspect closer, I mean, that's not too bad. That can be repaired, but you start to notice the splitting and cracking of paint, which I hope to repair. Maybe probably just spray it with some Mod Podge. The pieces, as you can probably see, they have a putty on them, like plasticine. And it's really gross because obviously with stuff like this that doesn't cure and is constantly sticking, it constantly picks up dirt and other disgusting things. And you can see that is not very clean. So I'm gonna have to scrape off quite a few pieces. It was most evident in these risers, and particularly the bases of them. And see, there's a coat on there and you can't really see the rest of it. Which is why I waited for this long to talk about the price, which is all of this and the other components cost around $60, which honestly is not too bad. I've been taken for a lot more as far as wooden railway goes. But like, then you come to the Tidmouth sheds, which is basically, you know, one of the better condition components of the set. So that part, you know, I can't really complain about. And, you know, the other pieces that really matter to me, like the covered bridge and the track, are not too bad. And, you know, even with these pieces where it's the worst, you know, it can easily just be scraped off. But after this, I'm going to track what I have and see what can be put together. So let's do a jump cut and find out. So after a bit of back and forth and going through everything we had, I was able to deduct that the set is only missing 2 pieces, and I was actually able to partially put it together without the 2 missing. Technically 3 pieces, one is a component of a part. And so of those pieces, one of them was a large female to male switch. I'm not sure if that's the correct term, but it's the larger switch needed, the only large switch included. And the other one was a small road curve. Now, luckily I have that. I don't really have a lot of pieces with me where I'm at the moment. But of the pieces I have, I actually have the Boulder Mountain set, thankfully. But we're able to place this piece right here, and there's my disgustingly hairy arm, on the layout. And we have a partially complete roundhouse set. And just to look over this all, it looks not bad. You know, there's some things you can easily pick out. Here's the turntable I neglected to show. And you can see, obviously, this was left outside. The color, I'm sorry, I apologize again for the lighting, but you can obviously see the difference of color between the portion that it's exposed and unexposed. And then you have this disgusting, God, I don't even know what this is, this disgusting residue. But everything else, but if you overlook those and you overlook what I was referring to before, like the piece of track with the putty on the bottom, it's a very good, it's an almost complete set. And the switch there, the large switch, you can get a no-name one, you can get an official Thomas and Friends wooden railway one to put it all together. But it's here, and I mean, for the price I paid, I'm not complaining at all. You know, my biggest complaint comes with the actual design of the layout itself, because obviously, I don't know if it's just because I did it on carpet, but the geometry of it is not the best. You know, you can really see it in the way the bridge is supposed to come in here. That's supposed to line up perfectly, but obviously it doesn't. So you have to flex the pieces a lot. That's probably why they put in this new track system, because, you know, it allows for a lot of movement. It's not perfect, and it's not meant to be perfect. Like you can see obviously here, and there goes the over the track signal. Like the track obviously has a very large bend, and it goes, you know, a bit of an, not a huge S shape, but it's like it's starting to, like, it bends that way, and then it bends this way, because obviously it doesn't line up here. And this line is too long, so when it comes here, it's like you can see obviously a curve, and it's like slanting this way. And that happens a lot in wooden railway sets, a lot more than you think. I know there are certain sets that you can actually put together, and because the piece fit is so tight, you can actually pick it up, because obviously with this, it's not that tight, you can pick it up. And I believe that one was the 5-in-1 made by Mattel or Learning Curve. I think it was Mattel. But yeah, you can see that here well, you can see the bending here, but not to that extent. Overall, and again, referring to the price, overall, I think this was decent for the price, but you know, I'm happy with what I paid for it. In closing, it's nice to have these pieces. You know, I can easily complete the set. I'm going to go in and attempt to clean up some of these pieces. One of the ones that have it The worst are, ironically, the bay bridges, which seem to have mold on them from what I assume to be exposure to water. So I'm going to disassemble them, clean the blue part separately, and then probably sand down those blocks. And, you know, I can even see right now that screw in there is rusty. But overall, I can't say I'm not satisfied. It's nice to have this set. Would have been nice to have it where, you know, you look, oh, what's going on under here? Ugh. Would have been nice without that. But I'm pleased to have this later edition of the set with those little hiccups, which I guess give me a little work to do as far as cleaning and stuff. So anyway, thank you. I hope you enjoyed this little overview of the 2009-10 Roundhouse set, and hopefully I will have maybe an updated version of the set complete and I'll show the layout off. Anyway, thank you for watching. Bye for now.